was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. It was the best. It was the best. It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. It was the best. You stupid monkey.
Crackdown 3, aka Terry Crews presents Terry Crews' Crackdown 3, a Terry Crews production. Get used to me saying that name because Crackdown 3 is all about this magnificent man mountain. It's not like the advertising hasn't been spamming the Terry Crews button in the last few weeks, so I won't be shying away from it either. That said, once the game begins, Terry all but disappears and the character you're left with is a softly spoken shell of what you'd expect. The balancing between the advertised character and the final product is chalk and cheese. Set 10 years after the events of Crackdown 2, the agency has been called upon to track down an evil organization responsible for more nefarious deeds than you can shake an aggressively oversized, clearly compensating for something weapon at. This game plays more like a mobile version of Borderlands. The third-person style combined with the cel-shaded graphics ensures that the comparison remains strong throughout your playtime. Direct comparisons also have to be made to Crackdown 2, and not simply because it's in the same franchise, but because it's so closely matched in nearly every aspect. This is great for the fans of Crackdown, but the game style feels like it might have aged in the last 9 years, since Crackdown 2 launched. Playing as the main but interchangeable character, you'll be tasked with liberating the crazily futuristic city of New Providence. And while this is the core objective of the game, players will be drawn more towards the collection of skill orbs around the city, which pump up your stats. As the game's voiceover is constantly reminding you, skills for kills. Shooting enemies will gather bonus points for your shooting stats, while beating them down will gather strength bonuses. Everything you do has a direct benefit to your style of play. You can even cycle through a number of different agent classes to define additional bonuses. This is a game for three types of people: fans, completionists, and trophy hunters. If you fall into any of these categories, then you are no doubt going to enjoy this game.
Precious.
The advertising for the release has also made some big noise about the destructible environments, but the combat, while exhilarating, feels like you're fighting on top of a comic book. The destruction is really only skin deep. You'll find the action to be fun and easy to engage with, but there's not much depth to it other than to smash and bash as much and as often as possible. A tip for the uninformed: if you're dying, that means you aren't shooting enough. Each time you take down an enemy, you'll be rewarded with a health boost. The game is literally forcing you to have fun whether you want to or not. The overall look and feel of Crackdown hasn't really progressed as much as some will like, especially considering the 9-year absence from our consoles. But many will be happy to be back in this universe, and there's still plenty to enjoy. You'll also notice that I haven't talked a lot about the story, and that's because there's not really that much to talk about. In reality, the story is there to simply fill time to get you to the next action sequence. And this follows the same format of 80s and 90s action films. You shoot first, and you ask questions only if you can be bothered to spare the breath.
You all saw him. He had a gun.
Considering that open world shooters are readily available these days, Crackdown 3 can safely say that it stands out as a very unique version of this style. And whether or not you enjoy this is a different question entirely. For myself, I enjoyed my visit to New Providence, jumping, dashing, shooting and smashing my way through endless waves of pleasingly weak drones. And likewise, I think that many will enjoy being a super-powered, super special agent.
Send them packing.
I'm super! Thanks for asking. All things considered, I couldn't be better, I must say. I'm feeling super, no nothing bugs me. Everything is super when you're, don't you think I look cute in this hat?
Crackdown 3 really excels at doing exactly what it says on the box. It's a lot of fun to play, there's lots of explosions, and lots of things to see. But once you scratch the surface, you'll find that there's not much more beyond that. It'll be interesting to see exactly how much people play this game, and if there's any replayability to it once you've gone through. My guess, once you've had a go, you're going to put this down rather quickly. For more on this game and other new releases, find us at Shaken Not Nerd on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, or subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or your favourite podcatcher.
You're unflattered. Maybe even a little curious.
I wouldn't even